we're not out here to conquer the world. We're out here to conquer self, right? And it's this idea of the persistent pursuit of your fullest potential. Let me say it again, the persistent pursuit of your fullest potential. The idea of waking up every single morning and conquering yourself is so powerful, and it's so challenging because it requires discipline, it requires consistency, and it requires patience. And in life, a lot of people want the results, but they're not willing to conquer their current level or their current situation, their current demons or their current difficulties or their addictions in order to get to the next level. So as I sat as an entrepreneur, I was like, dude, the problem isn't money. Everybody's like, oh, you gotta get rich. No. You gotta get educated. You gotta conquer your demons. You gotta conquer your problems. You gotta conquer your difficulties. And the reason I came to this conclusion was, we talked about the bull run and I was able to do well, but then I was left with all the problems that money couldn't solve. And those are the problems that are actually real. And it's a common misconception. You've done really well yourself in crypto, that you end up being in a situation or in a scenario where they tell you that money's going to solve all these things. And when the check actually hits the bank, you feel the same way. And you're left with this void, because it's truly a void. And many people are left confused. And we are right now in the process of conquering ourselves to achieve the fullest potential. And our objective is to inspire people, not with our words, but with our lives. And I think a lot of people do a lot of talking and they don't back it up with their actions. And the conquest is to develop 1 million entrepreneurs around the world to focus on creating, multiplying, and preserving wealth. And by wealth definition, wealth isn't money. Wealth is abundance. Right? And the abundance, we classify it into 4 different pillars: health, right? Mental and physical; wealth, financial; love, relational, businesses, business partners, your intimacy, whatever it may be; and happiness, this idea of being able to wake up and find purpose. And as we kind of develop those 4 quadrants, that is what true wealth means to us. And you saw it as well in the bull run. A lot of people know how to create wealth: drop shipping stores, social media marketing agencies, design agencies. Some people know how to multiply wealth. They see opportunity, but very few people know how to preserve wealth. How do you develop a lifestyle where you're consistently preserving the wins that you've made in life and you're not giving back, right? You go to the gym 6 months, you go to the gym 8 months, but then you don't go for a year. You can't build a lifestyle of success if you're always cheating, And if you cheat one day, you're a cheater. And, I say as a hypocrite, and we have this idea of people being perfect, but don't look at the messenger, look at the message. And the message stands true, which is you need to develop yourself. You need to focus on yourself. And then the money will come. The relationships will come. The network will come. But you need to be able to train. You need to be able to focus. You need to be able to spend time with yourself, fighting those demons, fighting those challenges. And ultimately, that's what's going to lead you to a life of purpose and success. And Nate talks about it really well. He says that your day is divided into 2 sectors, and it's how to conquer your day. We talk about the conquest. You need to be able to conquer every single day. Can you explain this idea of like the cycles, how you break down both days? And you were talking about it with somebody on Instagram Live. Can you go into that?
Before I go into that, let's tap into what conquest is, right?
Yep.
It's conquest of the mind. We have to understand at a macro level that the mind is programmable. Either you program it or somebody's going to program it for you.
Yeah.
Correct? Now let's go into the cycles of the day. Most people don't understand that it's not insomnia. It's life is cycles, right? You start at night, you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning. It rinses and repeats. It rinses and repeats. And I have a lot of people are like, hey, Nate, how can I optimize my morning? How can I be fully optimized? I'm like, no, the issue is you don't understand cycles, right? Because if you were to conquer or set certain parameters at night, those parameters are what are going to set you up for success the next morning. So understanding that life is a cycle and understanding that your mind is programmable and understanding that if you don't program your mind, somebody will program it for you. It kind of gives you a macro perspective of how the game is played.
Yeah. So this idea of like, people want to, let's say it's Sunday night and they're like, well, I'm going to crush Monday morning. But all of the habits on Sunday night are setting them up for failure for Monday morning. So how can you conquer the week?
Rest day.
How can you conquer the week if you've already sabotaged yourself on Sunday? How can you be eating at 2 a.m, right? And be like, well, I'm going to wake up and go to the gym, but you already failed right before, right? So you're setting yourself up for failure. So it's this idea of the persistent pursuit of your potential, conquest 24/7, understanding how the mind works. And like Nate said, if you're not the one educating yourself, programming yourself, somebody out there is going to do it for you. And that's the difference between a king and a slave.